Hello, John, a happy place. First of all, thank you for your recent post on our Facebook group. It was really fantastic to see your work, especially with the New Year inspiration worked with watercolors. For this week, and I still have my, you can see I just finished. I prepared a return to color. It's middle of January. I'm noticing that light is slowly returning to our life. Days are a bit longer, still short and dark, but there is a new kind of light coming through the day. And I thought, let's lift ourselves up with the color. So we're doing acrylic abstracts with oil pastels on top of it. Don't know really how to hold it. I think this is the best combination I like. Yeah, so different movements of the brushes, and then adding all pastel lines or coverage on top of that. And this is very much about just playing, and I explained in video, sometimes you really have to be bold and just apply that color. We're painting with no water, only acrylics and brushes, so we mix paint, also not pre-mix, but we put paint directly from the tube on the paper and mix with brush. So no water, no messing about with mixing it, pre-mixing. This is very direct activity, very spontaneous, and it's like that for the reason, so you can engage with art in more spontaneous and free way. Looking forward to see what you create, and remember to post on Facebook group. Bye bye. Hello! So colorful abstracts with acrylic paint and oil pastels. So first few principles about materials we're using, how we're using them. This is a very bold, colorful activity. I would like you to involve yourself with play, with color. Pastel has this bold marks as well, so trying to get those ones out, not being afraid of using materials. I'm using selection of acrylic paints, used whatever you have. All acrylic paint works. I have different brushes in different sizes and shapes. Have few, because we're not using any water for it, unless your acrylic is a bit dry and stiff, then you may have to use water to mix it. But the idea is to put paint directly on your paper, move around with variety of brushes, creating different brush strokes, and then allowing that dry fully and coming back with oil pastels. I have selection of oil pastels here. As you can see, they're being used quite a lot. Any brand will do, as long as it says it's oil pastel. Oil pastel, as you probably know, creates, just gonna do a bit of example here, really bold marks, and that's the benefit of oil pastel, and it will sit very nicely and boldly on top of your acrylic painting. So let me start the painting, and I need to dry it and show you the next stage. I'm applying different colors in different places of the page. I have not much plan. I took some consideration in when I was choosing colors, but I didn't really plan where they would go. It's my white, it's a bit noisy. Some yellow. I am a little bit thinking, you know, blue, which is very dark here, looks almost like this purple, will mix quite well, but it will also mix with blue, creating green. So I start with that and see where it takes me, starting with my big flat brush. So here we have green. It's a bit dark, so I'm grabbing white. And look at those brush, you know, play with this brush. What kind of movement? Love that movement it creates. Try to be quite quick as well. Acrylic dries quickly, so you're not really having much time. Okay, I'm going to leave that because I come back to it, but I'm just swapping into round brush and maybe going for shapes. Maybe some lines. Lifting your brush in a variety of ways. Just play around, see what happens. Now I'm going to come back to this one I left on side. It still has some yellow and white. If you want, you can use masking tape to keep your paper in one place. But I'm not using it. I'm getting my fingers painted. Now, when you see like this one here, I don't know if you can see, there's still paint, quite thick paint sitting on top. So I'm just gonna grab it with the brush. There we go. And look, it gives you something else. And then I have this paint which I can use. That's it. I feel like this needs yellow because it's getting too dark. Just applying some yellow. And I'm going for fresh brush. And I'm not using any water in between, it's just paint. There we go. Move your paper around from time to time. It helps to change perspective. See if I can get any white out of that tube. Oh, now too much. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that on the side. Okay, maybe the last addition. And I come back to this. Oh, that gives a completely new dynamic. Okay, and I'm leaving it like that to allow it to dry fully, so I can go on top of it with my oil pastel. See, I'm finding it hard to stop. This is the problem, so I have to put it away, and I see you when it's dry. Okay, hey, I'm back. This is dry now. It's got some bits a bit sticky, but almost dry. So when you work with it now, keep changing orientation of paper, because like I said, sometimes we get stuck in certain visual perception, and it's good for our eyes to change it. So now I'm having those pastels, and it's very much just to play around with it. With some bold lines, you can do shapes on top of it, you can do lines, you can actually fill in some of the areas with more pastel of similar color, so so you could build up another layer, or you could just do more like line kind of work. So let me show you examples. If I wanted, I could build up a blue layer here, but I can also use that for lines. That's blending here quite nicely. You can blend them with your finger or tissue, but you can also be more bold and create lines that are purely visible on top of your work. So here, so, and then something lighter here. Red, very contrasting. It's just about having courage, when you do that. Just go for it, because once you start overthinking, this is where you start thinking, it doesn't go here. It's just piece of paper with some paint on it, right? That's it. I have black. Oh, look at that. That's what we call a bold line. I really like how this black worked here. I might even make it a bit longer. That's it. Okay. So, it's also the art to know when to stop. Oh, I needed that. That's it. I'm going to add a bit of green here. And maybe that's it. Okay, so I'm done with mine. Have fun, keep changing direction of the paper. If you get stuck and you live in a house with someone else, show them that and say, where would you put the line, where would you put the color, and they may have more like a fresh eye, because you've been looking at that since you started painting. So have fun, and I'm looking forward to what you create. If you don't have oil pastels, use crayons. that sometimes they're not so bold in terms of pigment, but maybe, you know, it may kind of give you similar effect. I'm looking forward to see what you create. Bye bye.